Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 198, Airtight. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And as we're used to by now, we've got that nice carbon fiber finish. Well, not finish, but deco all over the box. We've got a G.I. Joe star here. He's number 198. On the front, G.I. Joe Airtight. And again, that carbon fiber looking finish or deco. A nice big window showcasing most of the figure and accessories. G.I. Joe star, G.I. Joe Classified Series. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there. 4 and up. Assortment number if you need that kind of thing. And then Hasbro print on the bottom. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, we've got some nice artwork of Airtight in action. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 198. On this side, number 198, G.I. Joe star. There are his skill sets. And some artwork there. There's a QR code right there if you want to scan it and see where it takes you. It might take you to shop.hasbro.com, or it might take you to Pulse. I don't know. I haven't checked it in a while. G.I. Joe Classified Series. And then on the back, number 198, we've got a nice practical shot of Airtight there in action. We've got some digital renders of some of the features of the character or the figure. G.I. Joe star here, right here. That asterisk over here leads to this. GIJoe.com. But I don't think it takes you there. Attention, especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. Includes figure and 5 accessories. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to baby. Small, fine, legalese print, made in China print, Hasbro print, and whatever the hell that is. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, the accessories. And we've got this hose that we've seen lots of times before now, ever since Dr. Mindbender came out. And it's got that nice ribbing in it. It's got these cap or attachment pieces on each end. This one seems to be a bit more flexible or softer than some of the previous versions, and we'll get to how that all hooks up in a minute. Next up, we have a handy dandy tweezers here, so we can take a look. Here is his sidearm. Nice realistic details, if not a little simplistic. I won't say there's a lot of molded details in here, because there's not. And then it does have a port on the end for blast effects. Next up, we have his helmet. And the visor piece is clear. And I'm not sure how that's molded. As you can see, the hoses are removable from the helmet. And they only attach one way with this long flat piece here leading into the helmet. The other end is too big for the helmet and it's too small for the backpack. And I'll get to how that hooks up in a minute. But we've got some nice coloration on here. I'm assuming this is molded in black. And then the rest of it is paint, but I could be mistaken. It could be the other way around. And again, there's the hoses, and again, they are removable, and they do attach to the helmet and the backpack, and again, we'll get to that momentarily. And then here is his main, I don't want to say armament, but his main, the main thing he uses, I guess is what we'll say, for cleaning up toxic stuff, bad air and stuff like that, air pollution. So you can see the end here, it is, you know, it's not solid on the end. It does have an interior to that. It's got a handle here, it's got the pistol grip trigger here, port for the hose right here, and it does have a little bit of molded detail. And again, like his sidearm, there's not a lot of detail going on in this piece. It's very simplistic. And the last accessory is his backpack. You see it's got some fans on the side here. It's got 2 ports in it on the sides here, for that's where the hoses from the helmet hook up. It's got the post that goes into his back port. It's got a port down here for the hose. So looks like some cushion right here. It's got some textural detail in this piece right here. And there's some nice padding texture in this piece as well. And some interesting stuff going on here in the back. The fans, the greeble. But again, just like the rest of his accessories, it doesn't seem to be like there's a whole lot of detail going on here. So, which I'm just noticing, by the way. So let's take a look at the figure himself. I have to say, they did a pretty good job on the head sculpt. This guy looks like a guy who would clean up toxic stuff, I guess. Looks a little angry about it. It's got a, I think it's a sticker right here. And I'm assuming that's got all kinds of readouts and stuff. He's got a little gauge right here. This piece flips open, and he's got some readouts right there. And this piece is a separate piece, but it is, I don't know exactly how it's attached. I can see a square post on the back at the upper part of this, but I don't know if it's like goes through and then it's got a flat piece on it, or a mushroom head, or if it's glued. So try to remove it at your own risk. I'm not telling you to do it, but if you want to try it, I'm not telling you not to either. So he's got nice bright jumpsuit going on, some black knee pads. It's got a different color here for, I guess, the straps for it, but it matches his boots and his gloves, his belt, and the, you know, most of the vest. It's got this hose detail here. It's got holster for his sidearm there, and black for the elbow pads, and then this is like an emergency air tank, I guess, with a hose leading up to this. A little bit of a black paint app there for the belt buckle. So let's take a look at his articulation. He can look up that high. He looks down that low. The neck, torso, and head are 3 separate pieces. Ball joint at the bottom, dumbbell at the top. So he's got a little bit of chicken neck. He's got a little bit of attitude going on. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, there is a butterfly. It goes back that far. It goes forward that far. He can raise his arm up that high, which is a little better than 90 degrees. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm having some issues with this arm even after warming it up. It's a very, very tight joint here. 360 degrees of rotation there. Cut at the upper bicep, 360 degrees of rotation there as well. Double hinged pinless elbow, and it gives you that much bend, which is really, really good. 360 degrees of rotation on the wrist, and that's on an in and out hinge. The other side is up and down hinge. I think he's just got that standard ab hinge going on under the overlay, and there's half dumbbell or ball joint at the waist, whatever you want to call it. So in conjunction, those two allow him to lean back that far and crunch forward that far. The vest does get in the way a little bit. The waist also lets him left and right a little bit, and it does give him some hula. At the hips, it's pull down joints. Allows him to give you the full splits. He can kick forward that far, which looks about 90 degrees to me, and then backwards that far, which is pretty darn good. There's a cut at the upper thigh, 360 degrees of rotation there. Double hinged pinless knee. It gives you that much bend. At the lower mid shin, there's a boot cut, 360 degrees worth of it. And at the ankle, tilts down that far. Tilts up that far, and it does have a forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as storage for his stuff goes, the pistol does fit nicely into the holster, and it stays there pretty darn good. Then I guess we want to put the helmet on him first, and that's a thing too, which it's okay, but it's like tight to get on there, but once you get on him, it's really kind of loose, which it's good for whatever paint is on his face, but not so great for anything else. Now here is his backpack. It ports into his back, and then these hoses port right here. Which is okay as long as you're not moving his head. Which is the same for, you know, want him to look out the mask like he should. Now, as far as his main armament, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, his main tool, there's no storage for it, at least that I could find. Maybe it sticks on the backpack somewhere, but I couldn't see it. So you just kind of hold that in his hands. You plug one end of the hose into the port on the back of the gun, and the other ports in at the bottom of the backpack. And still the helmet doesn't want to stay like it should. But there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Airtight with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Carded Beachhead and the G.I. Joe Classified Series Blowtorch. Here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Airtight with the Valaverse Action Force Special Deployment Series Swarm Sentry and the Valaverse Action Force Swarm Scarab. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Airtight, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on the G.I. Joe Classified Series Airtight, I have to say, honestly, this really is one of the most disappointing Classified series that I can think of right offhand that I've looked at in a while. And it's not the sculpt, the paint, that stuff looks good for the most part, you know, as far as the figure goes. The stuff on the vest seems to be fairly, you know, lots of detail in there. His sidearm, not a lot of detail going on there. It looks rather flat. And that's not to say there's no molded detail in there. It is. But it's just not... It doesn't feel like what we're used to getting in the line. And the same goes for his main tool there. It has some molded detail in it, but it feels pretty plain. And I don't know if I'm articulating exactly my feelings on it. It feels like this guy is just plain. Even his backpack feels a bit plain, even though, you know, it's got some greebles and stuff molded into it. I don't know, it just... And it's not really the figure itself, it's more the accessories feel bland. And the helmet is a thing all by itself. Don't expect to get much head swivel going on with the hoses attached, because you move it a little bit to the left or the right and guess what? Hose pops out. So that's not great. And then the helmet is really tight to get on his head, but once you get it on his head, it's super loose. And it just kind of bobs around and sits on the head any old way it wants to. And you know, it really shouldn't do that. If that was the best they could do with it, they should have given us an alternate helmeted head. And so, I don't know. I mean, I remember liking this guy in the Real American Hero line. I don't know that he got used a lot, but I remember having him. I remember him hanging out. I remember him going on missions, but I don't remember the figure feeling as bland as this one. It just doesn't feel, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's from Classified Series. I don't know what line it feels like it's from, because it doesn't feel like it's from a better line. I can tell you that. I mean, it's an okay figure, and you know, it checks off a box. But Do I love this figure? No. I don't hate it. But there's just a lot about it I think could be better. I think it could have more detail in the weapons, especially the sidearm. Just feels like they weren't even trying. And maybe that's a piece that they've reused from before, and I just hadn't noticed how plain it was. I don't know. But I just feel like the whole thing could use some more. Not necessarily paint, but detail in the sculpt, especially like the accessories. It's just, that's where I'm feeling it's plain in, I guess, is the accessories. And then I just don't like the way the helmet works at all. It just, it's not good. And you know, I hate to say that because I really like this line, but it's not good. It could be a lot better. So I'm gonna stop beating this guy up. That does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.